Good evening. Tonight, I'm going to draw a scenario of Chad Zumach versus King Mersh. After certain dust-ups that occurred. And then I'll babble on about quite a bit of it. It'll be Babelverse. Oh, look, my drawing from last night. Poor Afton, huh? It didn't work out so well for Afton Ben. But I don't think we've seen the last of Afton Ben. She'll struggle for some other position, I'm sure. And, well, won't that be interesting? But thank God she didn't win. I mean, well, it's another story. But anyway, I got a pretty good drawing out of it, huh? Yeah. Still didn't... this is just kind of, you know, the resting face, you know, that everyone talks about a lot. Yeah, I kind of put that more in there, but that sheer raw hatred and anger that was in that image. Yeah, I didn't quite capture it, but anyhow, there we go. That's it for those drawings. So now I got to get into this. Let me kind of move this around. The hell was that? Oh, hang on. I got to go take care of something. You know, this is what happens. This is what happens. I'm on the air. Where's one of my videos that we have here? This one. Don't worry, you won't have to play the whole thing. But here's some drunken girl.
Just across the street?
I have to pee really bad.
Okay. All right. Well, you're going to have to hang out. Unfortunately, there's no places to pee right now. Where is across the street?
Golf Gate, Tipsy Turvy.
Golf Gate?
Tipsy Turvy.
Tipsy Turvy. Is that a bar? Excuse me, down in Golf Gate?
Oh!
Sorry, I'm drinking a fizzy drink.
What were you drinking? Sir?
Celsius.
Fizzy drink?
Yeah.
And it's a Celsius.
Yeah.
You swear?
Pinky.
You swear.
Pinky? Here, why don't we get out of the road?
You were drinking a fizzy drink.
Come on.
Hey.
Yes.
You were drinking a fizzy drink. Oh.
You alright?
Yes, I just want to counter you.
Counter me? I think you're trying to counter you.
Hey, you were drinking a fizzy drink. You were drinking a fizzy drink.
Yeah.
Are you going to try me?
A fizzy drink has in a Celsius, because I need energy.
Energy.
Yeah.
Me too, bro.
Okay.
I just got off work.
Do you work at Hooters?
Yes, I do.
Okay. But then you went to Hooters and then
I went to Hooters and then I went to Golf Gate.
Do you work at the Hooters down in Golf Gate?
I do.
Okay.
Caught me, red flag.
You what?
Red flag, caught me.
Okay. Well, what's your first name?
Sophia.
Sophia. My name is Nick.
Nick, I have to pee.
And I'm going to be honest.
Nick, I have to pee.
It seems like you are under the influence of something.
Oh my God.
Now, unfortunately, in situations like this...
Sorry about that. You never know when things can go off schedule. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to do these, this drawing, but I'll use the scenario of boxing. Inspired by a previous possibility for Hackamania at one time was Aaron Himholt had made all these different demands for how he would possibly attend Hackamania. And of course, this involved him wanting to have a boxing match, I guess between him and Nick Rekieta, maybe between him and Melton. And I guess just everybody who showed up was going to fight him or whatever. And so I did a series of cartoons of just, I had Melton boxing him, Nick Rekieta, and April. I drew April in there. I think that was it. But I still had these AI background art of the boxing ring. So drew the figures and everything. And so I had that. And I thought, oh, while I was watching Pat's and some of Melton's coverage of the latest Dabbleverse shenanigans, this idea of Chad going to Hackamania to have a comedy fight, if you will, between him and Mersh. So each one would get 30 minutes to do stand-up. And then, of course, we'll see who did it best. And winner take all, I guess, whatever. Melton offering all kinds of perks to this deal. He'll pay for his pizza, stuff like that. It's like, how can you say no? And all that. Of course, as this leads up to the point where you really do have to decide whether you're going or not, I imagine Chad will require, several forms in triplicate, perhaps quadruplicate, quintuplicate, on and on, all kinds of safety regulations, make sure everyone has their shots, all that sort of stuff. And the minute you can't deliver on anything, well, that's it. Melton lies. He's not good. And then he can back out. You got to have something there that he can find some excuse for not doing it. The odd thing about this is if he would just do it, this goes a long way to what I have concluded, that any of these Dabbleverse characters might be able to turn this around. If, you just like, you got me. And then just go have a laugh. And Hackamania would be the place to do it. None of them will take Melton up on it. It's like when you have this good attitude, there's going to be a certain amount of respect of that you actually showed up. And whether or not he has a few good jokes or not, I doubt, but you never know. Maybe he would. And that sort of thing. It would go a long way. And there's means by which, they're going to, maybe, just maybe, they'll look at you a little differently. All right, doubt it, but it's why Karmic should go. Karmic should go. I mean, Chad, he's got an actual criminal record. There's all the, I need to wipe this down. All the crazy, weird shenanigans with Aaron, so that's a tough one. But had he shown up and how much fun, even if they had done the boxing match and all that stuff, it would have been funny, But of course, alas, somebody is really hurt by all of this, and it shows. So that's the deal. Will Chad show up in any form of fashion? Let alone challenge Mersh to some comedy battle. I sincerely doubt it, but you never know. Perhaps, just perhaps, things could possibly go a little different. And who knows? Tune in to find out. So anyway, basically all I got to do, I could just draw them both doing stand-up, and then that's it. But it's better as far as like the metaphorical approach to this is that, they're fighting. They're just going to tell jokes and, the best laugh wins and that sort of thing. But here, it shows the competition in the form of a boxing match, which will not occur. That definitely won't. I'm almost certain, but probably none of it will occur. But that's how that works. All right, I don't think this is going to work with my fat head in the way, so I'll go ahead and take myself out of the image. Don't worry, my hand is still very visible. I'm still here. I didn't leave. No, I didn't. So, all right, let me move the mic in the direction as I move in. That's part of the problem here. But if only I could make it sound like this the whole time. I guess I'm going to have to break down and get one of those headsets. Anyway, here we go. Let's see. We'll go ahead and start with Mersh here. And I don't know what the height is between the two. I understand Chad's kind of a small guy. Quite a few images of him on his tippy toes. I don't think the same is true of Mersh. But they may be closer in height than not. Of course, Melton's a really big dude, so he was really tall when he was going up against Aaron in the image. Oh yeah, I did do one of him and Chad. That's right. Yeah. Crap, I should have looked that up. So here we have the boxing shorts, and you got the boxing boots. I understand Mersh has a belly, so we'll put that in there. And there's the shirt. And then, of course, the boxing gloves. Just very simple little round things like that. And we'll put this one. And that'll make up for. His hunchback is really grotesque. Mersh has a hunchback. I'm seeing full-bodied images of Melton, doing a stand-up. I didn't really. He's a big dude, but we're not. I mean, Quasimodo was a hunchback. I mean, is that the deal? He said, draw Melton ringing the bells and stuff at Notre Dame. Something like that. But yeah, I really don't. He's just a really big dude. Overweight, sure, but very, very tall. He's taller than I am, as I understand it. I'm a pretty tall dude. I'm 6'3". But I thought I heard him say he's 6'5". Well, that's, say 5 is that. Well, that's bigger than 3. There we go. I don't know. Quite capturing the thing. It's gotten worse over the years. He's also bow-legged. Bow-legged? Huh. Alright, well. We all have our crosses to bear or whatever. So, there's not much you can do about any of that. Very overweight. It's not evenly distributed either. Okay. You think he needs an intervention? Let's see. So that'll be. That gives us at least a position for where Mersh will be. Alright. Now, for Chad. Chad. He's got to have his boxing gloves, which of course, if there was to have been a boxing match, Melton was going to have to cover the bill for that too, to provide the gloves and all that. Obviously, the venue is going to have to pay for that, all that stuff. in the hopes that everybody would want to, and they would they would want to see this. But instead, you know, they're gonna tell some jokes, and everyone, let's see how that goes, you know. But I did notice he emphasizes this is enemy territory, so he's really brave for going in there, you know. And well, sure. But is that the beginnings of how he's just going to blow it off? I don't know. Probably hasn't really thought of that part yet, but he will. Not that he can come up with a good enough reason. I mean, look how he ended the saga of his girlfriend, which this is also apparently Mersh's fault, that chased off the imaginary girlfriend because she was really frightened by what Chad did there when he went to Melton's house. I mean, Mersh's house, and all that. The quad. Yes, I did. I'll get to that too. I did hear the. Jeez. You see, the lesson there is, you know, when there's a guy who's really stupid and he's being an idiot all over the place, going to someone's house and yelling out to him and all that, and he's just really, really stupid and everyone can see it, get out of his way and let it happen. Don't try to insert yourself into that. And certainly, for God's sakes, don't call the police saying there's guns involved and all that sort. I mean, good Lord. So, hey, you know, great going. You found a way for Chad to not be the the total idiot in this scenario. It's just, oh my God. Just, and that's another problem because I'd already done, because he. Quadfather, and there was some sort of dust up between him and Chad, where, you know, Chad was going at him or whatever. I can't even remember what the whole thing was about, but I did do this cartoon of them as sort of this, you know, fake comic book cover type thing that I was going to do. I mean, I did a good bit of it, and I'll show it when I get to the Photoshop portion of this autistic endeavor, you know. And it was, you know, they were like, you're going to, it was almost as if Chad was challenging, you know, the quadriplegic to a fight. And something of that nature. So I made them as sort of comic book superheroes getting ready to fight. And that was the time when Melton made mention that Chad shakes a lot, that he's got some kind of tremor, that he gets incredibly nervous when, you know, when he's having to confront people in public or something like that. So I added elements of that to it. But now, after all this and what Quad did, I just, never mind. I'll just scrap those plans. And, because, you know, when Chad, he crosses a line when he does stupid things like this. This whole Dabbleverse stuff, and he's perfectly within his rights to trash anybody who's trashing him and that sort of thing. You just got to be really good at it and figure that out, or, you know, I guess you just don't do anything, and eventually they're bound to move on to someone else, you know, so it won't matter as much. But, well, no, he decided he was going to try to intimidate Mersh, I guess, go to his house, you know, make a stink, and then after that, encourage other people, anybody, to go to his house. you know, showing where it is and all that type of stuff. And really stupid behavior on the part of one Mr. Zuma. Then Mersh comes, Quadfather comes in and basically saves Chad from being the main villain in this whole ordeal. How do you get to the point where you think you can? Because you're really close, and it could have been a case of swatting. It could have been. Fortunately, nothing of that nature happened, but he really bought himself a lot of serious trouble. And as far as getting one on Chad, well, you didn't. Frank Furr says, it almost seems like Quad wanted Chad to die. Could that be worse than anything Chad has ever... Well, yes, it would be worse. It would be worse. Unless there's something I don't know that Chad did, but... I know he's committed some crimes. But I don't think there's anything you can say that he was on par with this. And so, way to go, you know. So, it's just, wow, I'm seeing Chad in a new light. No, I'm just seeing some other guy did something even more stupid than he did. As far as Chad putting himself in certain civil and legal jeopardy with it as it concerns Mersh and his property, and doxing him like that, well, that's between him and Mersh and what the police and the authorities decide after review. Beyond that, that's about it. And you leave it there, and it's like, yeah, boy, but somebody else thought, hey, I know. I could literally call the local authorities and sick them on Chad. Frank Fred says, I don't like this take. I've heard it from people who dislike Chad. It's not a case of Quad topping Chad in the bad thing department. What Quad did was evil. Well, yes. It's just... he's just fortunate it didn't go into the worst possible scenario. I mean, you're telling the police there's guns involved. Who knows how it could have unfolded? You know? So, incredibly irresponsible. So, if Chad wants to say he won that one with Quadfather, he did. I guess, you know. So, but in the meantime, you know, to come down from all that, and imagine, oh boy, the material that both Mersh and Chad would have to discuss at Hackmania for their sets. Chad really needs to take this seriously and consider the offer. Plus, it's all at Melton's expense. He's going to pay for all your expenses for you to have a trip to Las Vegas. That's pretty sweet. So, will he do it? Odds are no. There'll be some idiot excuse as to why. But, so here's, I guess I'm doing the best I can. I don't have a Burger King crown. I really should look into that, you know. Even though by the time this occur, I think Mersh will be sick of the Burger King crown. But maybe not. Maybe he'd wear that on the stage too. So anyway, do that. And here we go with beard and then the mustache. I think that'll do it. Put some detail here. Maybe like that, something like that. Ting like that. There we go. Maybe some defining lines there. All right. And then the mud chart. He has his thing. I don't know if I want to put a Z there. I might just cheat and use Photoshop for it. Alright. Okay. A little bit of the hair there. At least in the videos of him discussing this, it looks like he's had a recent haircut. But then again, by the time the match could occur, might have grown out a bit. I don't know. This is sort of the Bugs Bunny boxing gloves edition. And he's on his tippy toes. That. I don't know if they'll be provided robes with logos on the back for their sponsors. I understand Chad gave up Super Tips, so I guess couldn't just have the Super Tip logo on the robes. I guess he just wouldn't have any sponsor. Because I'm not a sellout. I don't go corporate. I don't do that. See, that could be a good excuse, I guess. Not really. I mean, come on, you're trying to make a living at this. What the hell? You're turning away money? That's stupid. No. I have principles. Alright. Okay. Damn you, Mersh. You made my imaginary girlfriend disappear. I'm so mad. So there we go. Honestly, I never thought a guy who jumped into an empty pool from a tree because his ex started dating a black guy would do something. Is that the story? I thought it was like a car wreck or something. He jumped out of a tree into a pool. Boy, this has happened a lot, actually, as people jumped into pools. And sometimes just from the diving board, you know, they didn't realize just how much force they had jumped with, I guess, and it go straight down to the bottom. And that happened to that Charles Krauthammer guy. He dove into the pool. It was actually, they were kind of done with swimming of the day, I think is the story, when he was about to leave. And he dove in one more dive, and then as soon as it just within seconds, his head hit the bottom of the pool, and that was it. Yeah, he says he instantly knew what had happened. It severed the spinal cord, and people realized he wasn't coming back up. They had to dive in and get him out. And there you go. He was paralyzed after that. He got some movement, motor functions back, and at least one of his arms or something like that. So I don't think he was completely quadriplegic, but yeah. So he jumped from a tree into the pool because his ex started dating a black guy. So he was depressed and upset, even though she was already his ex. His ex, and then it dove in the pool from a tree. Well, that's unfortunate, obviously, but no, I didn't know that was the deal. But now he very nearly, or at least it can easily make a case that he attempted to swat this guy. This would also involve Mersh as well, because this would have gone down on his property and all this sort of thing. Just incredibly foolish. There's just no way around it. So, this is just people bullshitting online, you understand? And, you don't go to their houses, you don't call the cops on them unless they really are doing something, but this business of him walking up and down the street, it's a crazy stunt to pull, and it would really look bad on Chad doing that. But like he said, he didn't go up to his door and everything. His mistake, as far as legal concerns go, is when he called on people to go to Mersh's house. So then he put himself in some amount of jeopardy there. But Quadfather, what are you doing? Frankfurt, I don't know for sure. Just going off what I heard about his accident. Yeah, obviously something happened. So yeah, maybe that was it. But I don't know about the girlfriend or wife or whatever, but it could have been just something he didn't think it would end up that way. He was just I'm going to dive from this tree. And, there's people who jump off of hotel balconies to dive into a pool and miss, that kind of thing. Of course, in some of those cases, those people walk away from it. You just never know. And sometimes it can be as simple as just slipping in the bathroom and hitting your head on the toilet, and now, surprise, you're paralyzed, and it's like, holy crap. It's actually quite scary, But, I hope that doesn't happen. That's about all you can do. And of course, like I said, I was thinking like car accidents. It happens all the time to people in those situations. And that's the problem with traffic, You can do everything right and still die. Or you wake up in the hospital and you can't feel your limbs, all because some dumbass, either drunk or not, whatever, I gotta be in front. And then, rushes out, smashes into you, and there you go. And of course, they'll be fine, But now, you're stuck in a chair for the rest of your days. Yeah, that's traffic. That's traffic. Do everything right and still suffer horribly. All right. He's taken to wearing the C hat. I don't even, does he even have a hat with a Z on it? I just did that because he calls himself Z-Man and all that, which is better than Mudshart. You know. I don't know what the hell. Where does that even come from? I don't know when he, I don't know. Anyway, I guess I guess I can go ahead. Even if I screw it up, I can fix it in Photo Show because it's not really going to be all together there. Kinda. I don't know. It'll be fine. Nothing. Everyone relax. There's nothing to worry about at all. No, no. So anyway, very simple, really. Just two, well, at least one, it's pretty funny, just in a line here and there without even making much effort for it. That would be Mersh, of course. Chad, well, accidentally funny, you know. Was seeing some of his jokes. I think it was Pat. Yeah, it was Pat watching some set of his, and you know, I mean, I've seen far worse. And there was a couple of one I can't even remember what they were. I was going, well, you know, that's not too bad. And then not much to it, so I don't know. Now, of course, for Chad, he can always say, hey, I'm in enemy territory. So, of course, everyone's going to say I lost. So, you know, there's that. And then, you know, he starts getting booed and stuff like that. That can happen. And then that gives him his out. There's the excuse. You know, it just wasn't fair. He could try that. It's a possibility. So he really should consider it. Will he? Odds are no. Frankfurt M. Attempted SWAT is borderline attempted murder. Yes. Yes, it is. I know a lot of people might not see it that way, but I do. I mean, there needs to be serious consequences for these sort of things that happen, and a lot of people is very intentional for what they're doing. It's happened quite frequently to quite a few people. Some of them are big names, some of them are just regular people, and somebody doesn't like you and pulls this little stunt. And the only recourse is severe punishment on the perpetrator. Now, in this case, he said, hey, I was just trying to be funny and stuff. That's not going to fly. You know, when you brought up that, you know, they have weapons and all that. I don't know. This looks like it could be a lot of trouble. Mersh, is it funny? Anyone who laughs at their own jokes that much, is it funny? Well, I tend to do that too a lot. Yeah. I don't know. From what I've seen, he comes across pretty funny to me. So to each their own, you understand. Liam does it too. I'm not. I just don't think Liam. I just don't see. I don't get it at all. I think Melton does a little chuckle as well. You know who didn't? Norm Macdonald and Bernie Mac. Well, yeah. Well, okay. Whoops, I started to chuckle. Oh, damn it, I just did it again. Well, yeah, I'm even chuckling at my own drawings here. God, why am I even doing this? A adrenochromjo 7448 SWAT father trying to get those two gunned down. Well, it could have happened. That's the problem. It's like, well, it didn't. Well, thank God, you know, but don't do that. So, yeah, this is a problem, you know. And all he did was kind of help Chad. You know? It's like no one pays attention to Chad's stupidity anymore. It's like, good Lord, that's crazy. You called the cops in there and told them they had guns? You know? It's like, oh no. Oh, jeez. Frankfurt says, it's okay if you chuckle as long as I like you. Now, see, I'm laughing at yours. Not my own joke. We're all biased. I'm biased and a jerk, too. Well, there you go. See? Just so long as you don't tell the police I'm about to kill somebody and have them come over here. Oh, my God. Jeez. It's like, well, you know, people are stupid and what. I don't know how you get there to think that this is going to go over as really clever and silly or witty or whatnot. I don't know. Granted, I don't know a whole lot about Quadfather, but I'm like, is there something going on there? I mean, beyond, you know, the obvious problems he has, but I mean, geez. Yeah, that was a huge mistake. So, and whatever the consequences are, if he's slapped on the wrist or whatever, if a fine or whatever, something like that, don't go thinking that this is another option for someone to do something to somebody you just don't like. You know? Arno says, hi, kids. Hi, Arno. Frankfurt says, so I think Quad also said he was trying to get Chad shot. That will seal the deal if the log is... Yeah, if he actually said that, well, I don't know. I don't know how you I don't know how you get out of that one. That's, yeah. Adrenochromjo Quad. A quote from Quad, Chad has weapons and is not very funny. Yeah, he's thinking that this is a silly thing to do, almost like it's a prank. Well, I guess he saw it as a prank call, but you're not calling somebody to ask them if their refrigerator's running. You're calling the police to tell them there might be a gunfight in this neighborhood. You know, you didn't think this through. Could he possibly say he was just really drunk or high? I don't know. What would be the out? Oh, jeez. I can only conclude that there just wasn't a whole lot of thinking here. You know? I mean, really, all your options were, well, you could do a live stream watching, sniping Chad's dumb video of him going to Mersh's house and look at this idiot. And there you go. Sure. Just about everybody did that. But, you know, you try to bring your own angle to it. And that's it. That's really all you can do about this sort of thing. Not what he did. So that's unfortunate. All right. I'm going to take a short little break here as I switch to the Photoshop. And we'll bring color to the lovely drawing here of our two titans of comedy for the potential battle that may or may not occur sometime in April of next year. Yeah. And now it's time for the world's greatest superheroes band together as friends to justice. They are the Best Friends. Later, at the Hall of Superdom, within the break room of said Hall of Superdom, we find Best Man, Maid of Honor, and Fireman deep in discussion. Unwell souls, since that kid trying to copy my fire powers set himself on fire, well, of course, a lot of fire departments throughout the nation would appreciate it if I stop wearing the fire helmet as part of my fireman outfit. Now, they also wanted me to change my name, Fireman, but I mean, fire powers is what I've got, so what else am I going to call myself? So, as a compromise, yes, I no longer wear the fireman's helmet as part of my outfit. I just wear the mask. Well, that's something there, Fireman.
Hey guys.
Rocket Man, what is it?
Oh, you're all needed in the operations room.
And soon, once again, in the operations room, up on the large monitor screen, the assembled best friends bear witness to something terrible happening at the oil platform in the Gulf of Mexico. It appears Pool Man has become enraged at Medicine Man, and, using his watery powers, has formed a giant water creature to do battle with Medicine Man. Damn him, I should have known. Even when I provide a chaperone, I still can't trust Pool Man to do a simple mission of taking care of a giant sea serpent. Oh boy, alright, we gotta deal with it. And soon, Fireman, Maid of Honor, and Best Man can be seen flying over the skies of Gulf of Mexico. And upon their arrival, they see still Pool Man using his giant water monster to battle Medicine Man. Alright, gang. Fireman, use your fire powers to turn that giant water monster of Pool Man's into a cloud of steam. Maid of Honor, you use your healing powers to tend to Medicine Man's injuries. And as Pool Man drops to the platform below, well, I'll deal with him. And soon, the best friends go into action. Fireman swoops down and aims for the center of Pool Man's water monster. With a single blast of flaming plasma, the water creature is suddenly reduced to a giant cloud of steam. And soon, Pool Man, no longer within his giant water creature, plummets down to the platform.
What the hell's going on? Damn it, Fireman!
Will Pool Man finally learn his lesson? And what about the sea serpent? Well, it's dead. But what about that? Perhaps we'll find out in the next exciting episode of Best Friends. Best Friends is a Nailsin production. All characters are written and performed by me, Douglas Nelson, with music by Kevin MacLeod and other public domain sources.
It's said that King Arthur was Britain's greatest ruler. Well, he got the throne by pulling a sword out of a rock. This gave him a massive hernia. He turned to Merlin, but eating rat tails and rubbing frog guts all over will not cure a hernia. Anyway, he couldn't fuck all that well on account of his condition. So his wife turned to Lancelot. Yeah, he hired a guy named Lancelot to guard his horny wife. So Lancelot lanced her, a lot. Meanwhile, Arthur got seduced by his sister, and their inbred offspring did him in. It's all sad if not so stupid. Still, though, Britain would be better off with a ruler like Arthur today.
All right, there we are. I gotta get rid of the echo. There, that takes care of that. Let me put the shot back on. Yes. All right. Here we, let's see, I'm going to have to close up some of the lines here that I have lost. Oops, oops, oops. It never fails. Probably a little smaller than that. There we go. There we go. All right. Oops, oops. Let's see, did I get the, yeah, that's there. All that. Probably, I want some of this taken out. There we go. Now for chat. Let's see, we'll clean this up a bit. Maybe go ahead and just say that the shirt does that. Not there. Then take care of that. We will add part of this here. And there we have it. Take care of that. This. And take that out of there. And maybe a little bit right here. There we go. Yeah, I was trying to finish up, so I was taping a bunch of stuff. And I was working on New York Post stories for New York City Crime Report, and I got it all done. But not fast enough to see if I could join Pat's show. And just as I was ready to go, so then I was like, oh, well. I'll go ahead and do a drawing of, and thought about, hey, well, when am I going to just start playing clips from Doom or Joe Joe Burrows? I keep calling him Joe Thorough. Joe Burrows. So thorough. Stuff like that, especially on this, and I thought about doing it, but, you know, everybody's already done it, and I missed out. But none of them draw the people involved. No. Only I can do it. Only me. It's really not true. I'm sure others could. They probably will. Probably some have. Dear God, is there any reason for me to go on? And all that. So, there we go. There's our combatants. Yeah, I guess that. Oh, wait. Yeah, that doesn't look right. Take that out of there. All right. Okay. So I don't know, I guess. Mersh. Where's a gray shirt? Here. I don't know, there might be some logo on it. As for the hat, I don't know, maybe it's red? Maybe like a dark red or something? Like that. And then sort of a gray brim. The shorts. We'll make those red too. Oops, not that kind of red. This kind of red. Perhaps a yellow here and there. And then, of course, the Burger King crown. And we'll do this little trick there so that it has a certain amount of shine. Yes. Yes. Well, yeah, the gloves. we'll just say they're red. There we go. The shoes. Well, maybe they can just be gray too. I don't know. There we go. Now, a night person is usually pretty pale. I know. I'm a night person. So I'm pretty pale. I'm assuming Mersh is too. So we're just going to go with that. Apologies in advance should I get it wrong. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not perfect. I know, it's such a letdown. I sometimes hesitate to admit it, you know. But it's gonna come out sooner or later. Might as well own up to it. I'm not perfect. All right. We'll just go ahead and darken out this, that, and the other. All right. So that's Mersh for now. With Chad, he does spend some time walking around outside, outside other people's houses. Sometimes his own, well, his apartment, I guess. I don't know. He's supposed to have moved, right? I mean, he's still in Florida, but you know, he was in love with this girl, and then Mersh had to go and ruin all that by somehow making Chad go to his house and scream at him like an idiot. But, you know, if Mersh hadn't made me so mad, this never would have happened. And my imaginary girl would still be here with me. Yeah. And then somehow Quadfather got into this. You know, I don't know. Well, I mean, it is Dabbleverse shenanigans, you know. What were you expecting? You know, sanity? Oh, you. I guess I could do the opposite. Make his shorts yellow with the stripes here will be red. Oops. There we go. Oh, what the hell is this? Jeez. I fixed you, didn't I? Might as well go ahead and make the hat the same as the shirt. You know? Might as well. And his shoes, I don't know, they can stay white. Yes, I'm getting lazy. Maybe I can't think of another color for maybe, I mean, it might be a little too dark. And maybe like that. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's gotta fit that somehow. And sometimes it's the little details that get you. Sometimes. Alright, oh, look at this. There we go. Well, look at you. Alright. Now we'll take this background out. There. There you go. But sometimes you forget little things like this. Who knew? And then, oops. This here. See? He doesn't have some chalky white growth between his wrists. No. So I take that out of there. And there's our combatants. Yeah. See? Oh yeah, I gotta do, a lot of times there's sort of a almost red hue to Mersh's glasses. I could be completely wrong. But that would be crazy. Come on. It's me we're talking about. So it's probably absolutely accurate. So we'll go with that. We'll add some definition here with the crown. Come on. There we go. A little bit details for the boxing gloves. Some amount of detail for the arms. The shirt. The shorts. Legs. You know, the whole 9 yards. And well, I don't want to do it too much on Chad's gloves because they'll kind of disappear. And his shirt's a little darker. Here we go. It's on his tippy toes because he's the tippy toe warrior. You know, ready to face off against King Mersh. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So here, he usually is a bit unshaven. So we'll just act like he is that day too. So we'll do it like that. And of course, seem to recall that Mersh has some gray showing up on the beard. So we'll add that in. Maybe that. Something like that. Alright. And merge the layers. Then we gotta correct some things here. Whoops. Oh wait, wrong brush. No, this one. There we go. And then we'll take this off. That. Alright. Good enough. In my opinion. And I am the artist. I have an artistic license. I get to make these decisions. Yep. That's how that works. That's why you go to art school. Alright. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should have drawn Melton as the referee, you know. But I mean, Chad wouldn't go for that. Because he said, "Ah, he's too biased." So I don't know who the hell could be the referee. But it doesn't matter because they're not going to do a boxing match, so, you know. Hey, what the hell? Did I just... Oh, damn it, wrong one. There, that'll work. Ah, crap. What was I doing? I was doing something else. I guess go over the outlines somewhat. That away. Got it like this. Now. And somewhat here. This. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Vitally important. The drawing doesn't work if you don't do the sound effects. Doop, 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 doop. There you go. See? It all works. Should have done this before I did the values on the, yeah. Well, you didn't see that. You didn't see anything. You may say you did, but I'll deny it. I will. Well, this and this. The knee, the shin, and now you, well, you've got, you got legs, you know how to use them, see? Alright, now for Chad's legs. There you go. And here. Yeah. Right here. And probably, yeah, that might work better that way. I wonder. Yeah, do it like that. Yeah, see? Always thinking. Because I'm just that smart. There we have it. And then this one. And then up here. Yeah. Put that here for the ears. Alright. As he chews on what little of his lip is left. How is he going to argue his way out of this predicament? Well, of course, odds are it just won't ever come to this. Yeah. So there we go. Mersh versus Chad, Chad versus Mersh. There's the logo I did. This is an image of Mersh from my alien scenario where the Dabbleverse characters were members of the Je ne sais quoi spaceship looking for the xenomorph with Karmix as the android. And then, well, this was just a standard Chad, probably the best one I've done of Chad. Really captures the nose. So, yeah, that's probably the best. So anyway, use those for the thumbnail for tonight's video. Yes. So here we have some AI selections for the ring. And you can see there's an audience back there. Don't look too closely because they look all demonic and deformed, as is typical with AI. This one, I don't know. A little too close to the ground. I guess if I put them there, that one might work. This one probably looks better. Still, you don't want to notice. Look at that, all deformed and everything. What the hell? But that's how AI sees us. Somehow this one looks a little better. It looks kind of cheaper. You know, this one looks like it's huge. Look at that crowd. Yeah, you got to go. That's too good. And this one, really no different. It's not as expansive as, I mean, there's this crowd right up close. And then there's this crowd way out there. And good Lord, they look like ants. So I think this one wins. We'll use this one and put our combatants there. But of course, immediately, oh wait, that's another thing. Yeah. Normally you're not supposed to do this, but I can. I have an artistic license. So we're going to increase the resolution. We'll, I don't know, 12 pixels, 1200 pixels, 300 resolution, and we'll go with that. So there's that, and then a little extra element of separation. The old halftone pattern always helps out these endeavors. Yes. Yes, it does. Why is it taking so long to come on? Jeez, don't crash in the middle of a damn live stream. How many times do I have to explain? All right. Here we go. Whoa, I made it. Jeez, I guess that was, maybe I should have gone for maybe 900 pixels or whatever. Anyway, so there they are. Probably could cut some of this out so as not to take away from our two opponents here. Give it more letterbox. Like that. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right. There we have it. King Mersh versus the Mud Shart. What the hell is this? Oh, it's just some stripe on there, huh? Well, I'm not liking it. You know where you can go with your little white stripe. Holy crap! Well, we're not going to have that. Damn it. Damn. Well, I don't know. I guess it'll be alright. Yeah, no, it's really bothering the hell out of me. Well, maybe I like this. Yeah, and then it just kind of goes that way. And then maybe there. There we go. No. Maybe. Yeah. All right, there we have it. The Battle of 2026. Will it occur? Well, not like this, but, you know, who's gonna be funnier, that type of thing, you know? And by funnier, I mean they intentionally, they're jokes. I mean, just who will display more stupidity? Well, Chad's gonna win that one, hands down. So, you gotta understand the parameters. And and that'll be the case. So there we go. See, nice image. Anyway, the superhero comic book thing I wanted to do. Oh, there's another one. Crap, this one might have been better. Damn it. Well, let's see here. We can move it in there, like so, and then move it like that. Geez, maybe that is better. Now look at that. Oh, that's the blue thing I did. Take that. Damn it. Don't you tone me. All right, there we go. Huh. Maybe that is better. this one looks a little cheaper, and therefore it's better. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, all right. We'll stick with the original. There we go. The, battle. All right. Thank you for your services, boxing ring. So, this was the deal. I forget what the argument was about, and I was going to do this cover of Quadfather versus Mudshart or whatever, or Z-Man, as I was going to call him. And something about his ability to shake uncontrollably was going to be his secret weapon or something. I can't even remember the narrative now. It's just as well as I probably am not going to pursue this further. What were you thinking, Quadfather? So there he is in this souped up chair with super cannons, and Chad's pissing himself, stuff like that. And it would be this title and all that. But, yeah, just gonna let it go. And, of course, put his captain's hat. And he was recently wearing that again. Like in the good old days, But, well, probably just not going to go forward with that. But here we have this sort of thing. Yeah, I'm kind of have to work on this. Like so. Probably move it even further. All right. And then something of that nature. There we have it. There we go. Maybe that'll work. Certain amount of, differentiating the two hairstyles. Go ahead and merge that one. And yeah, that's it, isn't it? No, it's this one. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've learned a lot tonight. Haven't learned a damn thing. Well, hopefully some people have learned. Yeah, you shouldn't call the police to someone's house. Damn it, where's my? I was just there. There it is. Just because, you don't like them, or they got the better drop on you, or well, you just don't like them, period. You really can't do it and then go, tee-hee, I was being silly. If you want to take their clips and put fart noises to it or something like that, you can do that all day. But don't go to their houses, and for God's sakes, don't call the police telling them some heinous crime is about to take place at this address. Yeah, don't do that. So I think we've all learned that lesson. Did we need to? Well, somebody did, and probably going to have to learn it the hard way. It's a strange world out there, So anyway, there we go. Clash of the Titans. Yeah, that could be something. It might be something. We'll have to see. Alright, it probably won't happen. Damn it. All that work and no super tips. What do I gotta do? Andrew, I don't have any weapons, quote. I'm just a mud shark. That's the quote from Chad. Captain Infinity says hi. Arno says howdy. Andrino says Carm should leave FG for an AI girlfriend. He does have a lot of AI girlfriends. At least that's a step up. See, Chad didn't even bother to do that. You know? I mean, he could have just made up an AI girl and start posting pictures of them at, out at dinner and stuff like that. But I guess that took too much effort. I don't know. So, oh man, all this time and I forgot to put the... See? I'm stupid. Oh wait, it's not even showing up. How the hell is that? Well, if that doesn't work, then this one surely will. I'm waiting. I mean, the show's over and I'm waiting for this thing to show up. And it's not. There it is. Good Lord. See, I can't help myself, why go on? Frankfurt Doug, you're saying don't go to houses as though it's the same thing as swatting. It's like saying men don't push a woman and also don't grape them. They're both bad, but one is real bad. Well, I'm saying the things we've learned. Don't do any of that. It's not like, well, I didn't do that one, so now I can call the police and swat somebody. No, it doesn't work that way. Anyway, yeah, we've all learned a lot. See? Now we can all be better people. Thanks to Dabbleverse. You can all see how Dabbleverse provides. Well, I tried. There we go. Thanks for watching. We'll try to squeeze one out tomorrow night. Can't guarantee that, but that's the thinking. Yeah. Anyway, I did a new drawing here of these characters. Maybe there'll be something else tomorrow. And gotta draw that Dabbleverse character, The Dabble Doodles. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, have a good rest of your night, and we'll visit again soon. Yeah.